did you see in terms of the identity of the person driving through that open window?
So it's very clearly that.
We now know who was driving David's Tesla right before Celeste's body was discovered inside of the frunk. The owner of the Hollywood home that David was renting has hired a private investigator. That private investigator has now uncovered surveillance footage.
Y'all, it looks like David might actually be celebrating after being officially cleared of any connection to Celeste Rivas' death. And honestly, this could be the plot twist of the century. For weeks, the internet's been filled with speculation, wild theories, and non-stop debate. But now things have taken a shocking turn. Police have reportedly shifted their focus toward new suspects, completely moving the spotlight away from David. And here's where it gets even. Crazier new footage has surfaced showing someone else driving David's car with Celeste's body inside. That single piece of evidence has flipped the entire case upside down. Fans everywhere are stunned, wondering if David just walked away from one of the biggest crime scandals in the music industry. Or if this is simply the calm before another storm that could shake everything up again.
Singer David is officially not a murder suspect, police have confirmed. I didn't want to touch base on this topic until the man was in jail. And everything we've seen on social media for the past month seems like this man is innocent, besides the fact that he's allegedly dating a 13-year-old girl.
If you've been following this case, you've probably noticed how quiet the police have been lately. No updates, no arrests, no press briefings. And that silence is exactly what made people suspicious from the start. The investigation into Celeste Rivas' death has dragged on for months. And in the beginning, it looked like an open and shut case. A 15-year-old girl found decomposing in the trunk of her 20-year-old boyfriend's Tesla after being missing for over a year. Everyone assumed the story was over, until one piece of evidence turned everything upside down. Out of nowhere, CCTV footage surfaced, not from the police, but from a private investigator named Steve Fisher, who's done more digging than the authorities themselves. Fisher discovered footage showing the last time David's Tesla was driven, the same car where Celeste's body was found on. What he saw completely shattered the David did it narrative. The window was rolled 3/4 down, and the driver wasn't David. Even more shocking, police quietly confirmed that Celeste's body was already inside the car at that time. So if David wasn't behind the wheel, then who was? Did he lend his car to someone? Did someone take it without him knowing? Or is this part of something far bigger than anyone imagined? Then came the detail that really sent chills down people's spines. Fisher noticed a cheap Christmas tree air freshener hanging inside the Tesla something that stood out in such an expensive car. He said it didn't look like something David would ever use, but rather something someone placed there to cover up a smell they didn't want noticed. That small clue changed everything. Because if David didn't put it there, someone else clearly knew about the body. The deeper this case gets, the weaker the accusations against David become. But here's where things get even more suspicious. Handed that footage over to police, yet they've refused to release it publicly. And according to Fisher, the person seen driving the car was wearing something very distinctive. He wouldn't say what it was, but made it clear. The person behind the wheel was not David.
What did you see in terms of the identity of the person driving through that open window?
So it's very clearly that Tesla, one, because the Tesla has that tape on the rear spoiler for whatever reason. I don't know why it's there. And also, it was just like it is in that picture. It was that dirty, except you could tell that they had run the windshield wiper like once to clear the dirt away so they could see. It comes very close to the camera, although there is some motion blur, but you can see the person and you can see what they're wearing something pretty distinctive. And there's photos that I have from 12 hours earlier, a person at the house wearing the same thing.
And I know that the viewers right now are screaming at the TV set saying, Ashley, ask them who it was.
I mean, I honestly wish I could tell you. I don't want to, I don't want to interfere with LAPD on that. And I think that's coming because we know a crime was committed 100%.
If you've been following this case, then you've probably noticed how silent the police have been. And that silence has only made people more suspicious. For months, the investigation into Celeste Rivas' death has dragged on with no clear answers, no arrests, and no public statements. At first, it seemed like an open and shut case. A 15-year-old girl found deceased in the trunk of her 20-year-old boyfriend's Tesla after being missing for over a year. But that story began to crumble when new CCTV footage surfaced. reportedly uncovered not by police, but by private investigator Steve Fisher, who's been quietly doing the work the authorities haven't. The footage allegedly shows someone else driving David's Tesla, with Celeste's body already inside. That single clip flipped the entire case upside down. Now, people are wondering why police haven't released that footage publicly. If they know who was behind the wheel, why not share a sketch or even a still image? Who are they protecting and why? Adding to the mystery, Celeste's cause and manner of death still haven't been confirmed, meaning police don't actually have a solid case. And perhaps the biggest question of all, why hasn't Celeste's family been questioned? Reports say she ran away from home several times before her disappearance, a clear sign of deeper issues that may have been ignored. How bad were things at home for a 14-year-old to keep running away? Who helped her while she was gone? And did her family do everything they could to bring her back safely? Things only get darker from there. Police allegedly searched the house David was renting when Celeste's body was found and discovered expensive crime scene-style equipment, plastic bags, duct tape, and high-end knives. But here's the shocking part. None of it had David's DNA. That means whoever brought that stuff in wasn't him. On top of that, investigators noted that the Tesla's tires were covered in desert dust, meaning the car was driven to a remote location before being abandoned. Insiders now believe Celeste might have been alive when the car was taken, and that she possibly died of a drug overdose, with friends panicking and trying to hide her body, turning what looked like murder into a tragic accident. Once whispers began that David might not actually be the prime suspect, police went completely silent. No more briefings, no updates, no social posts, just total quiet. Meanwhile, David has been keeping a low profile, focusing on rebuilding his career and protecting his image. He's hired powerhouse attorney Blair Burke, known for representing major names like Kanye West and Ozzy Osbourne, signaling he's ready for a legal battle to clear his name. Even stranger, TMZ recently uncovered body cam footage from a fake 911 call made to David's family. Home months earlier, someone claimed there had been a shooting, but when police arrived, there was nothing. No victims, no crime, just a terrified family. All of this paints a disturbing picture, one that suggests David might not just be innocent, but possibly set up from the very beginning.
Somebody called and said there was something in there. There was a person that, where they called on themselves. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, there's somebody dead.
Someone dead. Yeah.
That's what we have. I mean, we're going to take caution, you know what I mean? We're trying to scare y'all, this house is way off the roadway.
Ever since that body cam clip resurfaced, people have been connecting the dots, and the picture it paints is chilling. Was that fake 911 call to David's home years ago just a coincidence, or the beginning of something much bigger? Because now, looking at the pattern, it feels calculated. A false death call in the past, and now a real body found in David's Tesla. Either this is the craziest coincidence ever, or someone's been setting him up from the very start. Here's where it gets even messier. David might have been cleared of murder, but police aren't letting him walk away completely clean. According to inside sources, investigators are still trying to link him to other crimes connected to the case. Desperate to save face after how badly the investigation has gone, we don't even know if David and Celeste were officially together. The matching tattoos and old photos don't confirm anything, and police haven't verified their relationship. Right now, both the public and police seem to agree on only one thing: a crime happened. But it may not have been murder, and it may not have involved David at all. Instead, the focus has shifted to the desecration of a corpse. Because yes, Celeste's body was found dismembered in David's car, but that doesn't mean he put it there. So now the biggest question becomes, is David the villain, or is he the scapegoat? The internet is split right down the middle. Half of social media is celebrating, convinced David just dodged the biggest setup in music history. The other half believes the new suspect is just a distraction, a convenient story to shift blame. Because if police really cleared him, why hasn't anyone seen the footage? Why is the real driver still nameless? And why does it feel like the people who are supposed to protect Celeste are protecting someone else instead? So, yeah, David might be free for now, but the air around this case is still heavy. There are too many lies, too many missing pieces. And until that footage drops for the world to see, nobody's truly cleared of anything.